Hello and welcome to another episode of Cut Content. And this week I thought, hey, why not? Let's look at some retro games and see what amazing cut content we can find. Specifically from the first 3 Mario games. So now I'm gonna tell you to blow in your cartridge, cause it's game time. First off, let's start at Mario 1, since, well, we might as well go in order with this thing. The original Mario is well known for changing the shape of the gaming industry and how we thought about game design at the time of its release. So let's see if there are any hidden treasures hidden away in this classic game. Let's begin with some unused music. Nothing too crazy, just an alternate version of the Game Over theme. And also an alternate version of the Hurry Up clip that was to be played as Mario entered an underground or water level, but is never heard since the timer resets between levels. There is also an object that allowed Mario to climb up and down like a vine and made a buzzing sound as you climbed it, though it has no texture and is replaced by a brown flagpole top if used in-game. Alongside that, there is also a different version of the fireball that spins in a counterclockwise motion quickly, which is never used, but I could imagine some cool level designs with it. Another interesting mechanic that was cut from the game was a different behavior for the spiny eggs thrown from the Lakitus. Due to a glitch in the game, instead of being thrown horizontally based on your movement speed like they were supposed to be, the Lakitus just throw them in a straight line. This can be fixed in a patch showing off what it should have looked like. The timer in Mario also has a few different settings that never get used. The first is the timer starting at 200, which is never used in-game at all. And we also have the timer starting at 0 as well, which would cause instant death and therefore isn't used in the game besides a few cutscenes. But at the same time, the timer is also disabled, so it really doesn't count. Alongside that, there is also an unused variable that keeps track of the amount of blocks hit, but nothing ever calls for this information in the game. The last few things we need to mention are the L-shaped pipes, which can actually be entered from the top like they are in the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 game, but is never used in the original because you only see them in cutscenes. And the last thing is bloopers can actually be seen outside of water, and they will give you a massive 1,000 points if you kill them. But you'll never see them outside of the water in the original game, and they were only implemented this way in the later Japanese Super Mario World 2 game. And now that we have the first game done and over with, it's time to move on to Super Mario Bros. 2. Or known to some others as Super Mario USA. Obviously, the first items we have to talk about are some Doki Doki Panic leftovers, like the magic lamp, heart piece, block and metal block, a border that looked like a book, and lastly, a counter for money that was to be used in the credits. Some other miscellaneous stuff is this little smiley face, and an 8th frame of animation for all animated objects that skipped over due to a glitch in the game. There also happens to be one clip of music never used in the game, but it's nothing really special. Just an unused part of the subspace music that gets cut after the 7-second time limit is over. Lastly, the word Zelda can be found in the game's text file, mostly due to Nintendo copying their PRG footer and vector table from the Zelda game, which was also ported from the Japanese console. And that's it for Mario 2. But not surprisingly, we have a lot more to talk about for Super Mario 3. So let's quit the chatter and hop right into it. Starting off, we have a ton of unused levels, like a fourth 2-player level including a ton of coins in an unused block, a Hammer Bros level for World 7, a level similar to World 5-3, a weird level that has you going in and out of water with a tower of blocks you need to jump over to finish the level. And we also have an early version of World 7-3, a harder version of World 1-5, a room that was most likely used to test Tanuki Suit bonus rooms, a level most likely to be used in World 6, an ice version of 7-4 that auto-scrolls and includes an unused enemy which is a golden version of the Cheep Cheep. We also have a very bland Coin Heaven level that features an unused green Parabeetle, a small Coin Heaven level, an early version of 1-6, another version of 1-6 with no goal and a spawn point in mid-air, and the exact same version of 1-6 except the floor is one block lower and you don't spawn in mid-air. A level using the Starry Night Sky tile never seen in any other level can also be found, and lastly, probably a test level, but I'm not quite sure. Let's move on to some unused sprites now, including a front-facing Frog Mario, a pea inside a circle, a background version of Toad, an open version of the small chest, a map animation for walking up and one for left, a question mark, an oddly shaped castle, a skull, and there are plenty of desert tiles not used, a few tiles for ice, sky, underwater, castle, and World 8. The last two graphics are a block that goes unused in-game and a very annoyed Goomba meant for the ending scene. There are also 3 level palettes never seen, a green version of the Fortress, a gray version of Giant Land, and a peach version of the Plains level. The last thing is some unused bonus games and items like a Koopa Troopa and Hammer Bro that we're going to host alongside Toad. On top of that, we also have 7 unused dice games, and the most interesting, a game that when activated will send you to a random location on the map. Whether this was supposed to be a bad thing or send you to a hidden world, we may never know. And sadly, that's all the time we have for today, and I think we got over a decent amount of content. I'll definitely be coming back to Mario at some point in time to talk about all of the other games in the franchise that I've yet to hit on. But until then, post in the comments below what you thought of this episode, vote in the cards on what you would like me to do next in my next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video. I just have to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, who include Rob LaLiberty, Brad Moore, Andre Droulard, Thomas Bethel, Robert Velasco, Dominic Sharma, Martin Scutt, Maxim Lufkin, and the YouTuber Legend Gary. Thank you guys so much. Without your support, I would not make the content I am right now. You guys are amazing.